updates on the ice detention facility. I did talk to Congressman User. We are trying to get a meeting directly with Mark Wayne Mullen, the new director of DHS. So we're trying to get a meeting with him. Dan's trying to facilitate that. And we sent emails out, I believe, Friday about getting some paperwork and stuff that they promised to us. Friday or Monday, I think, Paul, right? Or yesterday, I can't remember. But we sent out getting more clarification for them. So that's basically where they're at. And Shirley, I sent them a corrected letter. I sent them a corrected letter
Sent them a corrected letter.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
because you asked for that. So,
Thank you.
okay.
Reverse still.
Yeah. Well, come on with July 3. So, okay, I'll open the floor for public comment. Oh, interesting morning already.
Good morning.
Good
Morning, sir. Morning, sir.
Good morning, Commissioners. Chris Molesky, Norwegian Township. I respectfully ask that you hold your response until after my 3 minutes. I'm here today to address two issues that require clear action. First, the lack of transparent, standardized policy for appointing members to county boards. And second, the need for a defined and accessible policy that allows individuals with disabilities to fully participate in public comment, especially remotely. Let me be direct. Boards such as zoning board, tax appeals make decisions that directly affect property values, land use, and tax fairness across the county. These are not minor roles. They carry significant authority and impact every resident of the county. Because of that, the purpose for appointing individuals to these boards must be transparent, open, and consistent. Appointments should be publicly advertised. Letters of interest, letters of interest should be accepted from any qualified resident. Selection should not be based on qualification. Selection should be based on qualifications and not political affiliation, donor status, or personal relationships. That is how you build public trust and ensure these boards reflect the full community. There is also a real concern with overlapping appointments. When the same individual serves on both the zoning board and the tax appeals board, it creates the potential for conflict. One board influences property values. One board influences property values while the other evaluates the values for tax purposes. The overlap undermines independence and raises legitimate questions about impartiality. Pennsylvania law gives you guys the authority to make these appointments. But with that authority comes the responsibility to ensure that the process is fair, open, and clearly defined. At a minimum, the county should maintain and publish a complete up-to-date list of all boards, their purpose, current members, and term expiration dates. That information should be easily accessible and able to be found easily on the county website, not difficult to locate or unavailable. To be clear, this is not about criticizing any current appointees. This is about improving the process moving forward and opening the door for more qualified residents to participate. Now on to accessibility. Does Schuylkill County currently have a formal policy that allows individuals with disabilities to provide public comment? If so, where is it and what does it include? Does it allow for remote participation, such as phone, email, or written submission? If that policy does not exist, it should. And if it does exist, it should be clearly communicated and easily accessible to the public.
Time.
Just briefly, finally, the quality of your meetings broadcast needs to be addressed. I'll just break it down right now. The audio is sometimes often unclear and at times difficult to understand. That's unacceptable in 2026. Residents rely on these broadcasts to stay informed. Other municipalities, take for example, Doylestown Township. They already have set the standard for clear, professional audio and video, and there's no reason why this county cannot be that standard. Upgrading the equipment and providing a good quality broadcast is not optional. It's essential for transparency and public engagement. In closing, these are straightforward, reasonable expectations. Transparency in appointments, accessibility for all residents, and clear communication. I strongly encourage this board to take action. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Josephine Kwiatkowski from Pottsville, Pennsylvania. I'm sure you're aware of Mr. Muser's finally made a statement concerning the ice warehouses. Muser has said that his office has been working for over 2 months with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security to prepare the way for thousands of detainees headed to Schuylkill in Berks County. Now, that statement was made public at least by March 26. 2 months before that would put it at the end of January, and he said he'd been working for over 2 months. So my question is, was Mr. Muser lying to you about when he found out this was happening, or were you lying to us?
No, nobody was lying. We started talking to Congressman Muser as soon as the rumors started about the detention facility. So yes, we have been, and he was trying that whole time, before they bought the place, to get confirmation if they were buying it or not. So
Well,
that would be considered.
that's not what you
No,
reported.
that's exactly what I've said.
No,
numerous
you
times.
said he
No.
didn't know anything about it. You didn't know anything about it till the
Ma'am,
deed
that's what
was
a-
processed.
Ma'am,
And that was what, the end of
Okay.
January?
let me, if you want me to answer you, I will. If you
Well,
don't.
go ahead, because somebody is lying
No,
to
there's
the
nobody
people of
lying. Our
this county.
statements have been exactly the same thing the whole time. As soon as the rumors started, we started reaching out to Congressman Muser's office, then trying to find out. That's been documented numerous times. So nobody is lying to you. You may believe so, but there is not. And I'm telling you, that's when he started. So if he said over 2 months, that would roughly be, when did the rumor start? December 26 was when the rumor started.
And
So
it has taken him over 3 months
Well,
now
that's-
to make a statement.
that's up to Congressman Muser, but the county's not lying, and I don't believe he's lying.
Most of the people believe he lied about this because
Well,
he's
that's-
consistently said that he knows nothing about it, and you have repeated that here at these
Yes,
meetings.
100%.
Yeah, I know, you repeated it.
Yeah, I'll repeat it again.
Well, that's unfortunate because
Well, that's the truth. then.
and him saying that all this is gonna be done, the road improvements, the sewer, the water,
Ma'am,
that takes a lot of time to do those
if
things.
you have an issue with Congressman Muser, his
Well,
district leaders here, and I'm sure you.
and I have
can call his
contacted
office.
Mr. Muser's office many times before. He is unresponsive to his constituents. I email, I call, I never get any answers from them. Well,
Ms.
yeah,
Dottie's here, and she will.
and that's the truth. I know other people, the same thing. You email him, you call his office, you do not get a response from him.
Okay, well, I'm sorry
Thank
about that. Any other public comment?
Why, sir?
Good morning.
Go on.
Joe Wiscamp, Tremont. Driving in here today, driving in through Pottsville, all I could think of is city, roughly 10, 13,000 people. And what would it look like tomorrow if there were no water, no sewage, and you had to truck it in and truck it out? And this seems to be a path that we keep going down because the do real infrastructure can't be done in the time frame they're talking about. And I know Mr. Muser released their information. We're gonna have magic answers to everything without any real plans or details provided. And we're 4 months after the building's been sold. This should have been done prior, which we all agree upon. I know they're not big on homework or doing any kind of planning, but I've calculated for them that the next time we have a meeting, I'm not sure they have any clue. Our big concern is we don't want our water and our sewage messed with because we've already lost our fresh air. And that's the overriding criteria. But the inefficiency of doing this is mind-boggling. They have 165 trucks bringing water in, 165 to 200 trucks removing sewage daily. The cost on the low end is over $1 million a day, possibly as high as 4 million. That's not even taking the price of diesel fuel into effect. I did this before the increase in that. That's roughly 400 million to 1.3 billion dollars a year. And that doesn't cover any other part of the detention center. That doesn't cover the medical care, the emergency services. This federal government is not a government right now. It's a federal mint. They're just printing our tax dollars and with a magic wand, you get this, you get this, you get this. It's inefficient. We all agree they chose the wrong location. To house 10,000 people, you don't pick a place on top of a mountain that has nothing in place. So I'm going to provide this as to what it would cost for the trucking. And I know the other will be told that they're going to do it and they're going to build real infrastructure. This is really damning as well. When you look at how it should have been done in the planning and the geological studies, none of that of which is being done. Best case aggressively is you're looking 2.5 to 3 years by bypassing some of this, and that's going to cost $500 million to $1 billion. So we're talking billions and billions of our tax dollars. And I know, Larry, at Tremont, there were questions raised about the jobs themselves, and they're not real federal jobs. They're contracted out through Core Civic and Leo Group, no pensions. And the other question was, there's only so many detainees you can move through. What will happen to this facility in 6 months, a year, 2 years? And what happens to these 2,500 people who leave their jobs and suddenly they're out of work because there's no more detainees to process? Or we also have elections, and things change with elections. I know that you mentioned that one of the promises that you were told, and I don't trust any of this government's promises, was that they were looking at, when this is no longer a detainee detention center, of looking at outsourcing satellite, using this as maybe headquarters for DHS or ICE or FBI or CIA. I did my homework, but I left my paper at home where I have a proposal that when they realize how expensive this is and how inefficient this is, that since they already paid twice asking for the building, that we can bypass this and we can bring actual federal jobs into the county with pensions, that would make economic sense. Because we've already burned through the 119 million, and we could also have the local taxation covered. It would be a win for everybody. And it would be done humanely to the workers. It would be done in a way that that building can handle that amount of people. So this is what it's going to cost, whether they realize it or not. Next week, I'll bring the proposal of turning it into a satellite office. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Lara Viscount, Tremont. Given the 3-minute time limit, I respectfully request that I be allowed to complete my remarks without interruption. On Wednesday, March 18th, Cheryl Mack presented all 3 commissioners with the resolution stating opposal to the establishment of an ICE detention center in Tremont. This resolution carries no legal obligation. Another week has now passed. The resolution remains unsigned. That's a simple fact. Since I'm related to more Tremont residents than you may realize, many of whom attended the Wednesday night meeting and the Tremont Town Hall, I'll use the remainder of my time to introduce you to some more of your constituents who have signed petitions opposing the ICE detention facility in Tremont, and these individuals represent Republicans, Democrats, and independents. That can be added to what I submitted last week. And I'll just pick up where I left off. Alice from Origsburg is against the facility. Nancy from Auburn is against it. John from Schuylkill Haven is against the facility. Natalie from Origsburg, Richard from Schuylkill Haven, Kathy from Origsburg, Mary from Origsburg, all against the facility. Robert from Origsburg, Stephen from Schuylkill Haven, Nancy from Schuylkill Haven, Susan from Schuylkill Haven, Mary from Origsburg, Wanda from Tremont, Brandon from Tremont, Gunnar from Millersville, all against the facility. Shirley from Joliet, Roger from Tremont, Tammy from Tremont, Justin from Donaldson, Lindsay from Tremont, all against the facility. Stacy from Tremont, David from Tremont, Mary from Tremont, Nikki from Tremont, Dakota from Tremont, Bill from Tremont, all against the facility. Jeffrey from Tremont, Mark from Tremont, Lara from Tremont, Joe from Tremont, Brenda from Tremont, Rachel from Tremont, Cindy from Donaldson, all against the facility. Ruby from Tremont, Earl from Donaldson, Lisa from Tremont, Melissa from Pottsville, Lucy from Donaldson, Carol from Pine Grove, Jean from Pine Grove, Jessica from Pine Grove, Jody from Tremont, Chance from Tremont, and Tess from Tremont. That's 94 people opposing the facility. These are Republicans, Democrats, and independents that need to be heard. We expect our elected officials to stand with us and advocate for our health and for our community. Mr. Fedora and Mr. Hetherington are the only two local officials that have not taken a stance against the ICE detention center. And we'll remember that at election time. You may not recognize us, but we absolutely will remember who chose to stand up for our town and who did not.
Any other public comment?
Morning. Jeff Dunkel, Palo Alto. Start off with 4 elected officials this morning, not in the building at 9:35, all receiving about $100,000 a year salary and benefits. Which most people, they just thumb their nose at the taxpayers. They think it's a joke. I know you guys say they have the rights and this right and that right, and they're row office people. Let's be honest, it's complete bullshit. $100,000 a year, taxpayers are on the hook for these people not to show up for work. Miss Gaffney, she's the one that thumbs her nose daily at the place. 100 hours in less than 6 months she worked. Claims she was on FMLA, which is illegal. It's blatant disrespect to the taxpayers. I don't know if you guys are on many social media sites, you know, the nosy neighbors, the helping out people. Every day people are struggling to pay bills. Can we get help? Can we get food for our kids until next week, till our next payday? You guys don't have that problem. You guys have no clue what it's like to struggle. And yet we're thumbing our nose at the taxpayers. They have to pay every day their bills. But yet you guys allow people not to show up daily for work. Tighten the strings on it. Make it part-time jobs, part-time pay. Let them realize what it's like to work to get their money. It's ridiculous. It really is. Miss Stevens, new right to know request. I'll be filing with Dave after the meeting. So I could appeal that all the way to the state. Since it was not followed up properly, Mr. Opaque said one thing, solicitor's office said another, Mr. Opaque said another. So we're gonna do this by the book this time and get to the bottom of it. As far as children and youth goes, first time that they don't have anything on the agenda and Carl's not here. But do they have a policy in place that they pay for utility bills for clients in the system? Are you guys aware? Are you aware?
They have something there.
If they're facing like a shut off or something like that, they're,
For rooming, there's
Okay.
opportunities there to put them up into a room,
Okay.
different things.
all right. And there is a policy in place for the county, do you know?
I
Or,
believe so.
okay.
I'll get it, but yeah, I've heard of them doing that.
Okay.
In crisis situations with the children.
And regarding the suspended individual, it was under investigation. Larry, you stated on record that the problem took care of itself, which that seems to be a common thing here when people possibly commit crimes, violate county policy. I mean, this guy was like a shadow to Mr. Horny Hal when he was here. And he was allowed to ride off in the sunset, pension,
Well, it's
nothing. So this guy was able to retire, pretty much like a forced retirement. And now he's gonna get retirement from the county after what he did. Third incident, from what I understand. Cops weren't involved. I can't understand why the cops weren't involved with a physical assault, an accused sexual assault, and a harassment. Why the cops are never involved here is absolutely mind blowing. Why, when Horny Hal was here doing it every single day, The cops weren't called for that. I mean, he literally was a predator to these people. Mr. Bender was well aware of what was going on, and Boots was too, and allowed it to happen. You were aware of it.
No, that's not.
You were aware before Jane Doe 5 happened, and I believe that lawsuit is still active.
Don't judge.
Okay. Two other things real quick. Missing evidence, has that been addressed? Can you get me an answer on that to see? The taxpayers are on the hook for Mr. Boober's exorbitant salary. Has there been any follow-up? Can you guys get me an answer? Number one, the taxpayers deserve to know for that salary. Number two, I think the defendants in cases, if their evidence went missing, I think they have a right to know as well. And lastly, previous people spoke about Mr. Muser. I feel your pain. We reached out to their office maybe 8 weeks ago, 9 weeks ago, through our fire company. Still have yet to get an answer back. But every day you can log onto his Facebook page. I'm on this show with this person. I'm on Fox News. I'm here. I'm there. Never in his territory. You can be back there talking. When the one woman was, hang on, because when the one woman was back there
This
talking,
ain't a debate.
hang on, but
No.
she's back there discussing things. So what I want to say is,
She's allowed to have private conversations.
I understand that, but it's interrupting when I'm talking.
No,
So,
you're past your time.
but she could turn around with Mr. Sophie and giggle and laugh and chuckle when the last lady was up here making a mockery out of these people.
They're not.
You're representing Mr.
Everyone
Muser.
is not making a mockery out of people.
She most certainly did. I sat back there and watched her. Josh turned around and laughed. They both laughed together while the woman was still talking because they
It's nothing
pointed
to
her
do
out.
with the woman.
And you know this because you didn't even
I
see it
know-
happen.
Because I know Josh and I know Evelyn.
I sat back there and watched it happen myself.
Well, you're making an assumption.
Right, okay. They just laughed for no reason, I guess. Must have had an inside joke. Oh, you're welcome.
Good morning. Brianna Delval, Orchard. I wasn't going to comment today, but you'd mentioned, okay, first of all, I think that you guys have been very transparent. Anytime I've asked for a copy of a document, you've given it to me. I think you're aware, but back on February 11th, I submitted a right to know request of any, communications, call logs, memos, calendar invites, whatever, with you or anybody at the county and DHS, but also you and anybody at the county with any congressman, senator, or their staff. You've said it many times that you've been in contact with them. 30 days after, so on the 5th day, the county requested an extension, 30 days. It was cited that it would just take time, but there was also need for legal review.
Okay.
The 30th day was 2 weeks ago, Friday, 4:30, I got an email saying, we need 5 more days. I didn't respond to that because I wasn't sure if I was just gonna appeal that deemed denial. The last Friday, I got a response that said there were no records responsive to my request.
Okay, well, that's with the right
Right.
office.
Sure, so I'm going to appeal it. I think it seems like this is a common thing that we need to do is appeal, and take it to the courts. I'd rather not do that. I will. But if anybody wants to take a second look at my request, I'd appreciate it because you have been transparent. And I have no reason to disbelieve you. This is becoming a bigger thing than I thought it would be. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Any other public comment?
I would like to make a statement, but I don't want to get out there.
Okay.
People can't hear this on the home, so you have it.
Sir, the
Yes.
county website, all the way down here at the bottom, there's a little blue icon.
Yep.
You can touch that, it will make the print on our website larger. It has a whole bunch of different features for people that have disability that will be looking on the computer. Our agenda is always posted. If they have a comment, they can send an email. But the county school book is capable of handling stuff. It's that little blue guy at the bottom.
Right, I'm not disputing the website accessibility. What I'm questioning is a person with disabilities cannot attend this meeting or other meetings on how they are able to provide public comment, whether in a setting of written, phone. That's the avenue I wanted to go. I know we provide Zoom with the telephone call-in, but what is the protocol that if somebody is disabled or homebound, that they cannot get out, that they could at least do some sort of correspondence, that their public comment is addressed? Thank you.
We'll look into it.
Thank you.
Is there any other public comments for everyone at the meeting? Okay, children and youth, that's a first. In a while. Grant writers.
Morning, Sharon.
Good morning, Commissioners. Cheryl Fuss on behalf of Grant Riders. Today I'm requesting approval to advertise for a CDBG stormwater project in McAdoo on Hancock Street. Bids will be done via pen bid and must be submitted by 9 a.m. on Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026, at which time they will be opened. Next one, I am requesting immediate approval. Approval of change order number 1 for $17,000 to a contract with Affordable Construction and Demolition LLC. This will increase the contract from $63,340 to $80,340. This is due to the foundation framing wall.
I'll make a motion to approve change order number 1.
Second, no question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yeah,
Thank you.
911 communications, Scott.
Morning, Scott.
Morning, Commissioners. One item for next week for approval. Motion request to enter a contract with the Head of Chicago for managed services, monitor, patch, and maintain 3 hardware components that we have. And the term of the agreement is from January 1, 2026, December 31, 2026, for $3,950 per month.
Why is it being done now in March and wasn't done in January?
Because they, I kept presenting the contract to them and they didn't get back to me.
Oh, okay.
So.
And the price, then, how much?
And that price we had a contract with them last year,
Same price.
same price.
Okay.
Yeah.
Public Works?
Morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here this morning for the approval of a contract to Diversified Maintenance, RWS LLC, for the cleaning of the Schuylkill County Human Services Building, 410 North Center Street, Pottsville, Pennsylvania, from May 1st, 2026 through April 30th, 2028, at a price of $75,916.08. Also, for the approval of a contract to Anthracite Waste Services LLC for the disposal of solid waste for the courthouse, human services, adult probation, prison, Mahanoy City Senior Center, and 252 Industrial Park Road, St. Clair, buildings from May 1st, 2026 through April 3rd, 2029, at a cost of $79,380.
Solicitor's office?
Morning, Paul.
Good morning, Commissioners. We are seeking approval to enter into Keystone Communities Initiatives Program Contract number 97742 with the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development for a grant in the amount of $1,500,000 for acquisition, construction, renovation, and demolition of blighted or underutilized buildings and communities across Schuylkill County, and cooperate with the Redevelopment Authority of the County of Schuylkill regarding administration and as potential subrecipients subject to DCED approval. Thank you.
Tax assessment. Tax assessment.
I'll read it.
You read it.
David Rice, Assistant Solicitor on behalf of the Tax Assessment Bureau. Approval to reappoint John Gears, Brackleboro, to the Auxiliary Board of Appeals to sit on a 3-panel board for the purpose of hearing appeals being scheduled in 2026, effective 2027. Rate will be $20 per hour. Approval to reappoint Anthony Prudenti, West Penn Township, and Timothy McGinley, Barry Township, to serve as members of the Primary Board of Appeals in 2026, effective 2027. Rate will be $30 per hour.
This next item on the.
You'll take that?
Yeah, no, just table. We're not taking action on it today, but.
Yeah, understood.
Right.
And the last matter is approval to appoint Frank Sangari to Arvin Borough to serve as a member of the Primary Board of Appeals in 2026, effective 2027. The rate will be $30 per hour.
Finance office.
Only one item this morning, Commissioners, Children and Youth of 2025 budget adjustment for informational purposes only in the amount of $912.
County Administrator.
This morning, approval to ratify the designated approved contract for the month of March 2026. I'm asking for immediate approval at this time. I'll make a motion, we approve we ratify the contract for March.
Second, no question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
yes,
Next, on behalf of the Workforce Development Board, approval to appoint Alex Zimmerman as a member of the Luzerne Schuylkill Workforce Development Board beginning April 8th, 2026 through June 7th, or through April 7th, 2030. Mr. Zimmerman is currently employed by Geisinger Central Region in Danville as the Chief Administrative Officer. He will represent the business sector in the healthcare industry.
Human Resource Office.
Thank you, Commissioners. In the Children and Youth Department, we have two appointments to Clerk Typist 2 position, Valerie Vickery and Raymond Majorino, at a rate of 17.1681, both effective 4/20/26, and rate is per union contract, and all appointments are pending drug test and physical, and all actions involving salary or for positions being created are pending salary board review. Do you want me to keep going with the information? Okay, in the adult probation office, we have the promotion of Noella Neary as a secretary 2, effective 4/6/26, from a secretary 1, and rate is per the union contract. In the treasurer's office, we have the promotion of Alicia Beach to the tax collection official, 2nd deputy, effective 4/13/26, from tax collection official.
Thank you. New business, motion to adjourn.
I'd just like to make a comment. I want to congratulate Mr. Bender and Cheryl and Hans Zimmerman. This $1.5 million TCD, this is a long battle. It's a lot of work. Again, they do a great job getting these light taken out of the county. So I want to commend everybody involved in that project. And if not that, after that, motion we go.
Have that motion to adjourn. So. Salary board. Report of any executive sessions, public comment for salary board. Human Resource Office personnel actions.
Yes, we have some actions in the treasurer's office. First, to eliminate the position of a clerk typist 2, effective 4/13/26. And also a wage increase for Deborah Gilio as a clerk typist 2 at a rate of 19.0375, effective 4/13/26. A reclassification of the tax collection official to the tax collection official 2nd deputy, effective 4/13/26, and also a set salary of Alicia Beach as the tax collection official 2nd deputy at a rate of 19.0375, effective 4/13/26.
Okay, thank you. Any new business for salary board?
Motion approved, sir.
Happy Easter, everyone. Oh, yeah, happy Easter. I keep forgetting.